Well, hello, guys, and welcome to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Ouellette. I'm the host here at Unity Radio at the SuSanity Live Show and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Super excited to be here on this amazing, beautiful, sunny day, right? It's so nice out. Get your sun, get your vitamin D. We need that for our bodies to heal, right? Especially if you're going through stuff traumatic in your life or any type of illnesses or anything. You want to make sure that you get out into the sun. I met somebody today. His name is John, and we talked a little bit about something that he's doing in the future. And actually right now he's probably going to come on the show too. And he was talking about the sun and how he knew someone that was very sick, a young man that was sick. And he was actually dying. This is a crazy story. He was actually dying. And somebody told this father or something to take this child out into the sun. And every day he took him out into the sun. And 5 days later, he was completely healed. Now, is it a miracle? Maybe. Do miracles happen? Oh, yeah, they definitely do. And so today we have some miracles because I have some amazing guests. I have Eric Boucher, and Ben Bellavance. Did I say that right? Okay. They are photographers and so much more. So Eric has already been on my show. He was on my show actually last year on April 27th, talking about his photography. And Ben has decided to join him. And when I asked them how they found each other, they said it was a mutual friend because Ben was interested in videography. So why don't you tell our viewers, you start, who you are, what you're about a little bit about your job a little bit, and then a little bit about your photography. And then we'll hand it over to Ben and Ben can do the same.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm Eric Boucher. So I'm also a quality manager on the, so I manage all those stressful jobs, ISO certifications, audits, and dealing with customers, and it's kind of stressful and a lot of stuff. But then I can get into my photography business and videography and kind of relax and be myself. And I'm happy I do that now. And it kind of started off, when I was younger, like I've told you in the past, I was younger. I had a friend that kind of got me to be his model. So I kind of, modeled for him. He took a few photos of me, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. It's kind of cool, all the gear and stuff like that. And so I got interested at an early age. And then as I got older and stuff like that, I wanted to still do photography, but I had this conception that being photography is for women and it's not a place for guys. So over time, I kind of, after my mother passed away and we only had one photo of her, I'm like, okay, photos are really important. And it's something that I want to make sure nobody else goes through or they don't have any photos of their loved ones. So I'm like, all right, now is the time for me to, get into this and give back to the people around me.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, you're a quality manager, manufacturing company.
Yep.
Is you still there?
Yep, still there.
So this is like a part-time thing for you, or
this
for now?
Yeah, this is kind of a part-time thing for now. It's taking up a lot of time. It's keeping me very, very busy, and it's hard managing family life and work life and photography at the same time. So I'm finding it very difficult to manage all that stuff. That's why I'm very happy that Ben came aboard to hopefully help take some of that load off of me.
Yes. Hi, Ben. Welcome.
Welcome. Hi, my name's Benjamin Bellavance. So I'm a welder. I've been welding for about 9 years. Went to college, got my welding certificate about 2 years ago. Got pretty high up top of the class. And that was something for me that was a benchmark that I wanted to reach. And I always liked the art of making things with my hands and being able to mend things together with welding and fabrication. So when I met up with Eric and from our mutual friend Dan, I was like, all right, well, I kind of want to get into video editing and things like that. And so, he kind of told me about what he was currently doing. And I thought this would be a fantastic opportunity to get my feet wet And so what turned into getting my feet wet got me into this whole part of his business. And it's just been really exciting. It's been about a month now, and we've made a lot of progress. We've actually gotten our first monthly subscription client, and that's just a huge step in the right direction. And, you know, it's for me, photography and videography is something that I look back and saw so many of my old photos, you know, stuff that you'd see on, you know, America's Funniest Home Videos, where it's, you know, you're doing the camcorder and it's got the date and the time. And, you know, we had a flood happen at my house and when I was younger, and it literally just ruined all of those, you know, memories, all those photos, all of the, you know, movies that we, you know, had recorded, you know, of me being a young boy and a baby, and you know, those are gone, but I've seen the video a few times over and just amazing. But now I get a chance to be able to recreate some memories and create some memories along with Eric. And it's, you know, we'll see where this road takes us, but we're trying to go far and we're trying to go one step at a time.
So what is the subscription? What do you mean by that?
So right now we have a few clients that want us to do monthly marketing content for their businesses and stuff like that.
Okay.
So photos and video and, you know, post them on Facebook and stuff like that for them. So it's kind of a new thing we're getting into.
Okay.
So the subscription we're working on now, it's kind of a trial thing to, you know, get our processes in place, and then we can bring it on to the rest of the, you know, clients that are interested in it.
That's a great idea. That's why I'm asking that question, because that's like, you know, that's like repeat kind of thing. So you're not just waiting to get a customer to, like, you know, send up, like, that's something, and that it's something that people can put their heart and soul into, because they would, you know, you would give them what they needed at that time.
Because being in the business world, it's hard to do all that stuff yourself. So, you know, letting us come in and take some of that off the, you know, business owner's plate is kind of a good thing.
Yeah. So what exactly is it when you do your photography? I'll ask you first, like, what exactly is it that you feel like? Because we all have these innate senses of life, right? And things that, like, we get a job, we're going to work, we're working every day, but there's always something inside of us that's like, I call it nudges. I call it God nudges, but I call it nudges. And we get these like moments where we're like, all right, I know I like this, but man, I really want to do that. You know what I mean? And so when you think of photography, where does that take you? Like, do you have, I call it feeling the feels. Like, do you feel the feels when you take photos? Like, is it something that, I don't know, it fills your soul? I guess that's what I'm asking, I guess.
That's a pretty good question. So I feel kind of multiple different things. First and foremost is imposter syndrome, where I'm like, am I good enough to me taking this person's photo, or am I going to give them a product they're happy with? So I feel that, but I'm also in this for other people. I want them to have those memories. I want to help them with their business growing. I'm all about giving back and helping other people, and that's what this allows me to do in my way.
How about you, Ben?
So for me, when I'm taking a video or I'm taking a picture, I'm really feeling the moment that I'm in and the moment that we are in, you know, as a group, not just Eric and I, but whether it's an event, you know, whomever's involved, if it's for a business, if it's for, you know, a charity event like we did recently. We were up in Hopkinton, Mass, and we went and saw the Hoyt racing. We did some videography over there. As you know, for us, it was basically like a charity event. We were willing to do that for free. And, you know, I take so much pride and joy into that because of the cause, but I also want to feel what everyone else is feeling when I'm taking that, and how can I take the picture the right way or the video the right way that encapsulates that moment for each and every single person that's there. And even those who aren't there that get a chance to see it, that weren't there for whatever reason, whatever, if it was a job or, you know, maybe they were out on a vacation or there was some other event going on that maybe they had their kids and they had to go pick them up, or this, God forbid, you know, there's something that they had to go to the hospital or things like that, so that they weren't there, they are able to be there without being there. And that's kind of feel like the sense of giving back that maybe Eric and I are allowed to do in doing this.
So I one of the hardest things I had to do so far was I had to, you know, document and film a funeral. So I mentioned to you before about, you know, Team Unstoppable, Michael DiDonato. He had a friend who was paralyzed in a more.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna. I gotta reach out to him because he's gonna come on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And
don't let me forget that. Don't let me forget that.
They have a powerful story.
Yeah.
And well, the guy passed away after years of battling with, you know, being quadriplegic and stuff like that. You know, got an accident 10 years old in karate and all that stuff. And then
was this when he used to push him in the races? Like, is that the same?
It was after. So I'm not sure how.
Because I know there was someone that used to run in the Boston Marathon, and was that Michael? Oh, okay. Oh wow, I didn't know his name. Sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
Yep. So well, there's a couple people have done it. Rick and Dick Hoyt. They were kind of the first ones that really started doing it.
Yes, that was the one that was years ago,
right?
And then,
Yep. And then Rick and Dick Hoyt actually, you know, met by chance Michael DiDonato, and they wanted a chair built for Rick to run in these races.
Yep.
So Mike built them chairs, and the business grew from there. But when Kyle passed away last year, it was a hard thing to because I started to grow close to Kyle because I was going to all their events, taking photos and videos with them, and you know, helping them with their brand and stuff. And then when he passed away, I kind of felt like I was close to him. So when I was doing all the video and all the editing, and I have to, you know, edit every video and do it over and over again, rewatch it over and over again. It got very emotional. But I also felt that it was very important to do this for the family and to remember. And I didn't enjoy it, but I felt like it was very needed, and kind of felt like my purpose a little bit.
That's awesome. We'll definitely get more into this. We're going to talk about Ben's story too. So guys, this is Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is SuSanity. I am the host here at the SuSanity Life Show. Super excited to be here. Hopefully you guys found some time to get out into that sunshine, right? And we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Alvin Familia, president of the Manny 267 Foundation, and you are listening to Unity Radio 97.9 FM. Worcester Community Connection.
Hey, what's up, Worcester? This is Jacqueline Carr, and I'm inviting you to be inspired with me every Sunday starting at 6 a.m. with the Jacqueline Carr Show on Unity Radio. I'll get you going with a motivating word, special guest, the absolute best music, and a few other surprises. But you gotta tune in on Sundays at Unity Radio to find out. It's Jacqueline Carr, and the Jacqueline Carr Show is happening Sundays from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. right here on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection, and also streaming on WUTY.org.
Hi, I'm Ernie Floyd, host of the Unity in the Community Show on Unity Radio 97.9. Join me and my guest as we discuss topics on embracing our diverse cultural communities, the music, the arts, and healthy lifestyles. I'm Ernie Floyd, host of the Unity in the Community Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hello, I'm Pastor Sharon Henderson of Covenant St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, 24 Hamilton Street, Worcester, Mass. We welcome you to worship with us every Sunday at 10 a.m. Let's worship together and love one another. I'm Sharon Henderson, pastor of Covenant St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, 24 Hamilton Street. We welcome you to worship with us at 10 a.m. every Sunday. Let's do it together and let's make peace.
Support for Unity Radio 97.9 FM is provided by United Way of Central Mass, aiming to improve the community and break the cycle of poverty, and the Woosocks Foundation, seeking to make dreams come true for families in areas of education, social justice, recreation, and conquering cancer. Unity Radio, Worcester's community connection.
You're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's community connection.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM. My name is Susan Ouellette. I am the host here at the SuSanity Life Show and the owner of SuSanity in Starbridge, Mass. My website is SuSanityLife.com. I'm here with Eric Boucher and Ben Bellavance. I love that name. I love the BBB, all B's everywhere. Anyways, and we were just talking about Michael, who's going to come on the show, who's the person that he pushed in the
Kyle Brudor.
Kyle, who passed. And it's very hard, right, when you lose somebody as a friend or a relative, a mom or a dad or a sister or brother or whoever, right? It's very difficult and it hurts our heart, right? And so the fact that Eric did that and Eric and Ben did that and they took pictures just to have the memories is going to be beautiful for Kyle, his family, from Michael and everything. But Michael's going to come and talk a little more about this because I think it would be a wonderful story. And so now I want to kind of go to Ben because in Ben's bio, he was talking about his friend and his name is Niles. So why don't you tell, because this is really mostly all you wrote in your bio. And so I know this is something you really want to talk about. So my heart was when I was reading it, I was crying anyways, but I was already crying, but now I'm crying anymore. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about Niles? Because it seems like you had a very deep relationship with him.
Yeah. So Niles Deary was his name. And he and I had met in third grade in elementary school. He moved into town. He had the same homeroom class as I did. So we were in class all the time, all day at school. We would hang out and we just got together and we would hang out a lot and we were on the same bus. And, growing up with him, he taught me a lot along the way, just work ethic and, things about just never giving up. And, he just really was the type of guy that when he came into the room, you could just feel the aura of his presence being there. He was just a really nice guy and just brought a lot of joy into everyone around him. It was like when you met him, it was like you knew him for a while. And he was like that no matter where he was or who he dealt with. And that was something that I didn't realize how he ever did that until one day he passed away at 23 years old. And that was a really, really tough time for me. I didn't know how to really cope with it at the time. I was 24. I had got held back in first grade, so that's why we ended up in the same grade in third grade.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing.
And
to be held back.
it was the right thing.
I have 3 boys, and if one of them could have been, I think we would be in a totally different place now. But anyways, that's another story.
100% agree on that. And it might have been a blessing in disguise, to be honest, because some of my best friends came from the graduating group of 2011 that I had.
Yeah.
And it would have been a lot different had I graduated the year prior.
Yeah.
And I would have never had the relationship that I had with him.
Yeah.
And him and I both were born in August. So, our birthdays were a week apart. So we would throw parties together and we would, have a good gathering of people. And it was always a fun time, but it was always just a memory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that when he passed, though, it was I learned so much from him after he passed, like almost more so than when he was here.
Isn't
And
that interesting how that happens with people? It's like, yeah, anyways, go ahead.
it blew my
We'll
mind.
get into that a little bit more
No,
after you,
it
yeah.
blew my mind. It absolutely astonishes me to this day. And what I learned from him is just how to create that presence from the time you meet somebody is so important. And just creating a familiarity with somebody right out of the gate is so crucial, and it's so impactful to somebody. And it's a great way to just meet somebody, and it makes you feel good on the receiving end of it, you know?
Mhm.
And I was always that person receiving that from certain people, and he was one of them. And I just, I didn't know. I was like, is this a superpower? Like, what is this? Like, how are some people just immediately friends?
Yeah.
And he was that for me. And, you know, um, God bless him, but he's still with me everywhere I go and with everything I do. Being that I'm a father, I was a father when I was 21, and I had to be a father after he passed, and it was a tough thing to do that too. And going to work, it was like, all right, well, after work, now I don't have my time to go hang out with him. And oh hey, like me and him would go out on the boat, and we actually had bought a boat back when we were 16, me, him, and a few of our friends. We ended up selling the boat when he passed to help pay for the funeral and things of that nature, which, everybody obviously agreed upon that. And it was the right move. And it was something that, we do miss, going out on the boat with him and going on the boat in general, but it was something that you had to take away the things that are just replaceable for
Yeah.
something that wasn't. And we got him a really nice gravestone. Obviously, his parents did most of it, but it was at least something that we put towards it. And it was just an amazing feeling that I have. And, and through photography, if it wasn't for that, those pictures and memories of him would just be when I close my eyes and picture it, but instead I am fortunate enough between me and the group of friends that we had that hung out with him and social media platforms that we're able to still see him, and it's a really good thing to have that. And it's really another reason why I joined Eric in this venture.
23 is a very young age to pass.
Yeah.
And but we all have a time, and I think that's what's the hardest thing about being human is that no one really knows when, we're gonna leave this planet. No one knows. And then things come into play, like medicine and drugs and alcohol and all these crazy things that go on in somebody's life, and other decisions not to be here and all kinds of stuff. That it's like, and people don't realize how much of I don't even know how to even say it, how much it hurts the people that love them, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Like that burden.
Yeah,
just weighs on you.
because and I think that it goes back. Even though he's not here, you still feel him present. Yeah, and I think that I believe that stuff too. I mean, there's certain people that don't believe that, but I 100% believe that too, because my dad was in a wheelchair my whole life. I drunk drive when I was one, and he died in 1993. But I feel his presence all the time. Like, too, I was reading something on the Google today, and it was like stuff about him. And then every time I'm driving, I see 93 in the car, and he was a Leo. His birthday was August 20th. So every time, like the sun, all these things, I'm like, hey, Dad, and it's always like, and my son is very connected to him too. So it's like, I'm happy about that, and I know that a lot of other people don't believe in it. So they think that if you allow that to be a part of you, that you're going down the wrong path. But I don't believe that. I don't, because I feel like if something is giving you hope and joy and peace in a way when you can't see that person physically, why not allow it to do that? Whether it's a bird or a butterfly or a song or something, or a picture. It doesn't really matter. Just something to stay present with them. There's nothing wrong with it.
No. And honestly, that you mentioned the song, it struck a few memories where there's probably a good 5 or 6 songs that if it comes up on a playlist of mine, I immediately have a memory with him. And it's like, it's so live, I feel like I'm like live concert. Him and I are there and we're just enjoying the song. And it's really cool to, have that connection with him, and having had him, for basically 2/3 of his life I was involved with. And that was, when you look at it, you're like, wow, 2/3, that's a good portion of life to have been around somebody, and it's unfortunate it's 23 years. So 2/3 of that roughly is 16. So that's kind of right around the time when it all happened and ended. But yeah, he's always living through the songs, and so huge. You have to have some form of connection, because there is a disconnect. There wasn't, and you have to reconnect. How do you do that? And you have to find an outlet that works best for you. It's what works best for me.
Yeah, I think that. So that's funny that you brought that up. Like, I brought up songs, and I know I was supposed to, but I mean, I was sitting in the kitchen, and one of my clients had left, and I don't know why, but she was on the table, and I was working with her, and inner child healing is really big, because if you've gone through anything in your childhood, traumatic wise, or what, in every way, shape, or form, sometimes we don't realize that we have to heal that part of us, that inner child part, and just let it know that we love it, or whatever. Tell yourself you love each other. You tell yourself you have to, right? And so she's on the table, and I'm doing work on her, and all of a sudden I start talking about like Connect 4 and all these games. So she leaves, and I go home, and I'm in the kitchen. No idea where this came from, and I'm not even sure like why. I started singing, remember that song, the Candyman can, cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good, from like Willy Wonka, and then also from like Sammy Davis Jr. And so I texted her, I'm like, hey, I don't know why I'm in the kitchen singing Candyman or something. So we got in this big conversation about it, because her mom, who passed, she had bought tickets for her and her children and the mom to go see the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory at some place, and then COVID happened. So her mom, they didn't get to go, and then her mom sadly passed. So her mom, I think, was kind of using me as like the go-to person to be like, hey, I know you brought me up, and hey, here I am. Like, where would I get? I'm in the kitchen cooking, and like I haven't heard that song since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. You know what I mean? So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So what I'm saying to that is, like, you have to believe that stuff, and this is the way that it works. Your mom too. Like, this is the way that works. Anyone that's passed. In my heart, what I feel and what I've learned throughout the work that I do is that you can't trespass on anybody, right? And so it's kind of like asking, you shall receive. Well, if you don't ask, how can they connect with you? They can't. So you have to ask, right? And so the more that you talk about him, the more you talk about Kyle, the more they're going to be able to be present with you, because you're calling to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of a gift, I think, for us as humans to understand that a little bit, even if some people don't get it. Like, at least it gives you a little bit of more clarification and time to be okay with the fact that even though they're not here, they maybe in some nilly way they are, right? Yeah.
I had a few instances like that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. So guys, we're going on our next break. My name is Ouellette. I'm the host here at SuSanity Live Show. Super excited to be here with Eric Boucher and Ben Bellavance. I would say the name. And we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Ricky Duran. You're listening to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hi, I'm Storm, and I'm a part of the Bruce Wells Scholars Upward Bound program. The Upward Bound program is a program that helps many promising low-income, first-generation, college-bound Worcester High School students. After joining this program, I've learned many different and important life skills. We're making new connections and getting real-world experiences through internships and classes. If you're interested in any of these opportunities, you can find more information at www.sevenhills.org or 617-866-1293. That's www.sevenhills.org or 617-866-1293. A brighter future begins with you.
Host of the Woo 508, and I'm here with your girl Liza, Miss Consistency. And it's your girl Chantel in the building. Yes, y'all go ahead and follow us everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, the Woo 508. That's THEWOO 508. Woo!
Hi, I'm Suzanne Graham Anderson, also known as Positively Suzanne, host of Black in Business, Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9. Black in Business is a series of conversations with influential members of the Black business community. These entrepreneurs knows what it means to risk everything to create successful businesses and spark positive changes in the community. So join us. Again, I'm Suzanne Graham Anderson, also known as Positively Suzanne, right here on Black in Business, Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9, Worcester's Community Connection.
Tune in to Affirmations with Alex, and together we will affirm our way to a healthier mindset by listening to empowering messages. Hi, I'm Alex from Affirmations with Alex. Join me every Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Let's talk, Worcester. Unity 97.9.
So, guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan Ouellette. I'm the host here and the owner of SuSanity in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. I'm here with Art Boucher and Ben Bellavance of EB Moments Photography. However, they're actually changing the name. And I honestly saw the photo and I heard the name and I was like, so good. So I thought that was amazing. I don't know who thought about that, but that was really good. And there's so much you can do with that name. Like, you have no idea what's it's going to go for you guys. It's going to be very big. It's all I can feel it in my bones, in my blood, and my everything. So tell our viewers if you want, unless you're not telling anyone yet.
Oh, we're starting to get there already.
Okay.
We got it up on our website. So if you visit our website today, you'll see our new logo and our new name.
So tell them the name.
Pivotal Star. And there's a little bit of a meaning behind that.
And
too.
what is that's going to say? And why don't you tell them why you both discussed it and figured it out? Because that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. So pivotal because we're always trying to pivot through life and stuff like that, and make different changes. Like, oh, this isn't quite working out. Let's pivot to this and try making it work. And that's kind of our motto and how we've been working through our lives separately before we met each other. And pivotal too, because in your aspect, you're like, all right, well, we're gonna come in and help you, say like your business and something like that. It's kind of you're not feeling it stagnant or something. Well, we come in and we can help you pivot and be successful and grow and do all that stuff. And then the star, I looked at the star in the name as you're the star. You're the star of the moment. You're the star of the photo, and you're the star of the video.
Yeah. So Pivotal Star. We were thinking of a name. When he told me EB Moments Photography, it's a name. I'm thinking this is kind of a mouthful, and it's a little hard to say. And it's hard. Is it E as an elephant? B as in boy? Is it B? Is it? And there's so many different. There's a few different letters that you could hear it over the phone, and it would just easily get, oh, what was it again? And it. So we got to thinking, and I came up and I started thinking. I said, I like pivot. I like pivotal. I think when we're shooting a shot, you know, we have to pivot from one thing to another, and we have to make it seamless. So we were going through the domains list online and seeing what was available. Pivot, Pivotal.
Oh, like GoDaddy?
Yeah, well, a little bit further than that, you know. So we went and did some research, and we went digging, and we came across Pivotal Star being available, and that was the one that really stuck out to both of us, and it just made the most sense. I mean, I love the name, and whenever I say it, when I could hear somebody saying it and say, "Oh yeah, I use Pivotal Star. They're doing our wedding plan. They're gonna, you know, not the wedding planner, sorry, but they're gonna shoot the wedding. They're gonna do videography." If you have a business, who do you want to go to? You want to go to Pivotal Star. It just, there's professional in that. You know we're going to do the job right. We are so thorough with our plan before we get there. We see the layout, then and we pivot your business from being what it was to being a star in your market and in your industry for you now to make that.
That's amazing. I love that name. I think it's perfect. I don't think you should have picked any other name but that name. I think it's going to resonate. And he's right. I think when people are talking about it, you know, and they ask about, oh, who's your favorite? Oh, it's Pivotal Star. Who? Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna create some buzz. You know, I think that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's